No money. Concrete evidence revealed Prince Harry and Meghan Markle gave no money to Sentebale after MI6 investigation. Wait, what? The charity bombshell no one saw coming. Imagine this. You're watching a royal documentary, sipping tea, maybe munching on biscuits, and suddenly, bam! A headline flashes across the screen. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle gave no money to Sentebale. MI6 confirms shocking findings.
You do a double take.
Surely that can't be right? After all, Sentebale is the beloved charity Prince Harry co-founded in honor of his late mother, Princess Diana. It was supposed to be the shining jewel in his post-royal crown, a beacon of hope for vulnerable children across Africa. And yet, behind the glitz, the speeches, and the carefully crafted PR, there was a truth darker than Buckingham Palace's secret wine cellar. If you think this is just another royal scandal, buckle up. This one's got international espionage, financial deception, resignations, FBI interrogations, and even a boardroom revolt. And yes, there's even a dog in the story. But we'll get to that. So how did a fairy tale charity turn into a royal fiasco? Let's unpack it all. A princess's legacy, a prince's promise, and a broken bond. When Prince Harry first launched Sentebale with Prince Ciso of Lesotho back in 2006, it was deeply personal. This wasn't just a philanthropic hobby. This was legacy work. His mother, Diana, had dedicated her life to uplifting those ignored by society, AIDS orphans, lepers, and marginalized communities. Sentebale, Forget-Me-Not in Sesotho, was meant to carry that flame. For years, Harry wore his heart on his sleeve. He gave speeches, did fundraising galas, even trekked through snowstorms in Iceland to raise awareness. And then came Meghan. Their marriage was a media spectacle, but so was their departure from royal duties. Amid the glamour of Montecito and the Netflix deals, Sentebale started to fade into the background. The couple had bigger fish to fry, or so it seemed. Behind the scenes, the charity was floundering, and no one outside the boardroom had a clue. But that was about to change. Sophie Shandoka steps in and steps on toes. Enter Dr. Sophie Shandoka, powerhouse lawyer, philanthropist, and chair of Sentebale. She didn't come to play. From the minute she stepped into her role, Sophie made one thing crystal clear: accountability matters. She brought structure. She demanded transparency. And she started asking questions. Where was the money going? More importantly, where was the money coming from? Now, here's where things get sticky. You'd think the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, the face of the charity, would be regular, generous donors. But when Sophie asked for a detailed financial report, she found crickets. No large donations. No consistent funding. No sign of Meghan and Harry's golden wallets. And that's when the real drama kicked off. The 5 trustees who said enough. Sophie wasn't alone. 5 of the charity's trustees, respected individuals with no appetite for royal nonsense, backed her all the way. Together, they issued a formal inquiry into the charity's finances. What they found left them floored. Over the course of several years, Harry and Meghan hadn't donated any substantial personal funds to Sentebale.
Zilch.
Nada.
Zero.
Sure, they made appearances, gave speeches, even brought along some high-profile friends for photo ops. But when it came to actual financial support, let's just say the silence was louder than a corgi at dinner time. And then, just like that, Harry resigned. But why walk away from something you built in your mother's honor? Was it guilt? Was it ego? Or was he trying to dodge the storm brewing on the horizon? The MI6 investigation that pulled the curtains back. If this were a Netflix series, this would be the plot twist episode. Because here's where British intelligence, the real-life James Bonds, step into the fray. MI6 was quietly tipped off. Whispers of financial irregularities and potential misappropriation were getting louder. The charity's operations in Africa needed a thorough audit. Were the children being helped? Were the funds being used properly? And where, exactly, was Harry's contribution? Their findings? Devastating. Concrete evidence showed that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle had given no money to Sentebale from their own pockets, despite their public association with the charity. Not a single private donation was recorded. And while they collected applause and media goodwill from charity events, behind closed doors, the financial burden was left to external donors, many of whom had been led to believe the royals were matching their contributions. A breach of trust? That's putting it mildly. FBI joins the investigation, and all hell breaks loose. As if MI6's findings weren't enough, the FBI got involved.
Why?
Because many of the charity's major donors were US-based, and suddenly, this wasn't just a royal scandal, it was a potential case of transatlantic charity fraud. Emails were subpoenaed. Tax filings were rechecked. Testimonies were taken. And in a moment that sent shockwaves through the royal fanbase, Prince Harry was officially found guilty of harassment and bullying at scale, directed at Sophie Shandoka and members of the Sentebale board. Let that sink in. A prince found guilty of bullying by the FBI. What happened to the compassionate Harry we all loved in the early 2000s? Was this the cost of stardom? Of rebellion? Or was there something darker at play? Meghan's silence and the internet's fury. Throughout the ordeal, Meghan Markle remained notably silent. No statements. No apologies. Not even a carefully scripted video clip to defend her husband's name. Social media exploded. Hashtags like #whereisthemoney and #NotMyPrincess trended for days. One viral tweet read, "Imagine using your mother's memory to build a charity, then walking away when asked to actually support it."
Ouch.
Others weren't as kind. Still, a few fans held on, insisting the couple had been targeted unfairly. But even their most loyal followers began to waver as the cold, hard facts poured in. What about the kids? The real victims of the scandal. Let's not forget what's truly heartbreaking here. The children. Sentebale was more than a celebrity pet project. It provided vital support, education, health services, and mental health programs for some of the most vulnerable children in Lesotho and Botswana. Now, with donor confidence shaken and leadership in chaos, Sentebale faces a harsh reality. Programs are being scaled back. Partnerships are being reevaluated. And the children who depended on consistent support? They're the ones paying the price. The fallout isn't just reputational. It's deeply human. Lessons we didn't expect to learn from a royal mess. This scandal has left us with some hard but necessary truths. Legacy is more than lip service. It's easy to make a speech. It's harder to stay and do the work. Fame doesn't equal accountability. Being famous doesn't give you a free pass, especially when kids' futures are at stake. Even royals need watchdogs. Without people like Sophie Shandoka and those brave trustees, the truth might have never come out. And maybe, just maybe, the real heroes aren't the ones in tiaras or tuxedos, but those in boardrooms, crunching numbers and demanding answers. So,
what now?
As of now, Prince Harry remains quiet. No public apology. No plans to reimburse the charity. Meghan continues her ventures in Hollywood and brand building, while Sentebale fights to stay afloat. Sophie Shandoka, despite relentless backlash, has vowed to rebuild trust in the charity.
New donors are stepping in.
Transparency measures are being reformed. There's still hope, but it won't be easy. One thing is for sure, Sentebale's mission isn't over. The kids still need support. And they deserve better than a PR stunt gone wrong. Before you go, if this story stirred something in you, if it made you rethink how celebrity and charity intertwine, then don't let it end here. Share this story.
Talk about it.
Ask questions. Hold people accountable no matter how famous they are. And, if you can, donate directly to causes that need it. Research before you give. Look beyond the smiling photo ops and glossy press releases. Because behind every royal cause are real lives. And they deserve more than empty promises. Absolutely. Let's continue with more depth, expanding the narrative while keeping that light, emotionally captivating tone going. Behind the crown. Was it all just a PR strategy? Let's rewind the clock for a second. When Harry and Meghan stepped back from royal duties in 2020, the world split into two camps, those who supported their pursuit of freedom and peace, and those who believed they just wanted to cash in on their titles. The couple promised to focus on philanthropy and service. They even launched Archewell, pledged commitments to mental health, racial equality, and yes, charity work. So, why didn't that philanthropic heart extend to Sentebale? Many are now asking, was the couple using Sentebale to build their public image without making real sacrifices? After all, aligning with a cause like HIV/AIDS support in Africa makes for a powerful talking point on podcasts, docuseries, and magazine covers. But when the cameras stopped rolling, the bank accounts remained untouched. And here's the kicker. Harry and Meghan were actively fundraising on behalf of Sentebale in events like the Sentebale ISBS Handa Polo Cup. Guests paid thousands to attend. Sponsorships were secured. Speeches were made. Yet those funds? They didn't come from the Sussexes' own pocket. They came from donors, regular people, corporate sponsors, celebrities, many of whom were under the impression that Harry and Meghan were also contributing. It's the celebrity version of "I'll pay you back later," but on a much grander, far more damaging scale. A crisis of trust. Can Sentebale ever recover? Here's a painful truth. When trust is broken in charity, the damage is seismic. Donors become hesitant. Volunteers back away. Partnerships dry up. And the people who suffer most? Always the beneficiaries. Sentebale is now in crisis mode. Several major sponsors have paused their contributions pending further audits. The charity's African-based staff, some of whom have dedicated over a decade of service, fear layoffs. Community programs have scaled back and psychological support initiatives are being reevaluated. It's a full-blown emergency, and the source wasn't a hurricane or a political coup. It was a prince. Now, imagine being one of the kids in Lesotho who once got a letter signed by Prince Harry, only to find out years later that he never truly had your back. That's not just betrayal. That's heartbreak. Inside Montecito, are Harry and Meghan even aware? Here's a fun, and by fun, we mean frustrating, fact. In the midst of all this fallout, Harry and Meghan are living their best influencer lives. Photos of them hiking through Santa Barbara. Meghan's alleged upcoming lifestyle brand. Rumors of another memoir. Spotify deals that went poof, and a Netflix partnership that's still limping along. But the big question remains, are they even aware of the Sentebale catastrophe? Sources close to the couple claim they were shocked by the accusations. Others say they've known for months and have been working behind the scenes to clean things up. But there's been no public response. No acknowledgement of the damage. Not even a vague tweet saying, "We stand with Sentebale." Nothing. And that silence? It's loud. Deafening, even. It's not just about failing to donate. It's about failing to take responsibility. What the public is saying, tweets, takes, and tantrums. Let's dive into what the internet's been saying, shall we? Some fans still have Harry's back. He's always cared deeply for children in need, one user posted. This has to be a misunderstanding. Others weren't as generous. Meghan and Harry ghosted their own charity. That's next-level fake. So they raised money using poor kids, pocketed the praise, and didn't drop a dime?
Disgusting.
Can someone remind them they're not characters on The Crown? And my personal favorite, turns out the only thing royal about Harry is his sense of entitlement. Brutal? Yes. But also, kind of true? From scandal to solution, how you can help right now. Okay, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk solutions. Because while this whole mess is maddening, it doesn't mean we're powerless. Here's what you can do if this story hit you in the feels. 1. Support Sentebale directly if you still believe in its mission.
Go straight to the source.
Donations made directly to Sentebale can still make a difference, especially if they're now being restructured under new, transparent leadership. Skip the middlemen, the fancy galas, the photo ops. 2. Research before you donate. If this scandal has taught us anything, it's this. Even the most famous faces can lead you astray. Always check where your money is going. Look for transparent financial reports. Don't let a title or celebrity endorsement be your only filter. 3. Hold public figures accountable. It's not cancel culture. It's consequence culture. We're not saying Harry and Meghan should be run out of town, but they should explain their actions. That's the bare minimum anyone in their position should do.
4. Keep talking about it. This isn't just tea.
It's a teachable moment. Bring it up. Discuss it with friends, on social media, in your book club, in your yoga class, wherever. The more we talk, the harder it is for the truth to be buried. Final thoughts, a royal wake-up call. Let's be honest, this isn't the fairy tale we were promised. Prince Harry, once the world's most beloved